Nobody likes a mama's boy.
Reddit is full of them.
Is there a lot of people in the comments that are supporting him?
No, but you get a lot of stories about mama's boys.
Okay. I was like, that'd be insane if there was like a mama's boy brigade in the comments. Hey, you beautiful people. Welcome back to Josh and Christy Stealing the Internet. I'm Josh.
I'm Christy.
We've got some more great Reddit stories for you today, so let's jump right in.
Am I the asshole for saying that my brother-in-law and his future wife can't sleep in our bedroom while we host them on their honeymoon?
Gross.
Right?
No, you're not the asshole. I would not want them in there either.
I, 35 female, and my husband, 36 male, are fortunate enough to live in an area of the world that is very beautiful and as a result frequently visited for honeymoons. My brother-in-law, 30 male, and his soon-to-be wife, 28 female, are getting married in August and want to honeymoon in the area where my husband and I live. And they asked around a month ago if they could stay with us on their honeymoon. We agreed. They are family and are also tight on funds. We are happy to help and host them. However, they asked my husband last week if they could stay in our bedroom on their honeymoon. We have a 2-bedroom home and our guest room has an air mattress that is used for when friends/family stay. Otherwise, it's my work-from-home office, hence why we don't have a typical mattress in there. My brother-in-law didn't really get into the specifics of why they didn't want to use the guest bedroom/air mattress, but the gist seemed to be that we don't think an air mattress is honeymoon appropriate. When my husband asked me about it, I was honest with him and I said I wasn't comfortable with his brother and his new wife sleeping in our bed on their honeymoon. My husband agreed with me. Apparently, us saying no to this request has caused some issue in my husband's family, particularly with his sister, who is saying that we should just let brother-in-law and his future wife stay in our room as it's their honeymoon and they shouldn't have to sleep on an air mattress. We love everyone in this scenario, especially brother-in-law and his future wife. I don't want to cause a rift, so my husband is sort of leaning towards acquiescing to their request. However, I am not down to change my mind on this. It honestly really grosses me out because I believe that the reason they want our bedroom is so that they can comfortably bang during their honeymoon on a regular not air mattress.
What other possible reason could there be?
Right?
Don't have your honeymoon at family's house. That's weird.
That is super weird to me.
If they're gonna be there?
Yeah, I don't want them hearing whatever goes down on a honeymoon. I don't want to hear what goes down on anyone else's honeymoon.
No.
I'd be like, no, go, you should get a hotel.
You should get a hotel. They'll probably upgrade you.
Also, like, the idea of someone banging in my bed is very, very creepy to me. I do not like it. Top comment. They're quoting, it's their honeymoon and they shouldn't have to sleep on an air mattress. Remind sister and the rest of the family that no one, let alone you and your husband, are forcing them to spend their honeymoon in your home. That was their choice and their request. Your guest bed happens to be an air mattress. If they think that an air mattress isn't good enough, they are free to choose any other location that isn't your home. They should rescind the invitation, citing family as the reason. The family has stated loudly and clearly that the offer of use of our guest bedroom was unacceptable. We apologize profusely and humbly withdraw the offer. We shall not make that mistake again.
That's petty. I think that this is your sibling. You're fully justified just being like, no, you're not gonna have sex in my bed. Mm-hmm. Just be blunt with them. You don't have to get fancy and be like, try to figure out some polite way to tell them not to bang in your bed.
Yeah, I definitely think that for your honeymoon, you need to splurge on a hotel and not stay with family.
Absolutely. Just delay your honeymoon a little bit if you need to save up a few, like $1,000 more. Never much discussion when, it's so
it's
cut and dry.
Unequivocally, no, that's gross.
No, gross. I don't even want to talk about that one.
Get a mattress cover at least.
A plastic one.
Yeah, waterproof. And throw it away and burn it when you're done.
Yeah, like one of those bedwetter plastic. Am I the asshole for throwing a cup of cold water on my naked husband?
Sounds like an asshole thing to do, but let's see if she's justified.
My husband has been tested for ADHD, but he doesn't have it. He has the kinds of problems that are associated with ADHD, however. He says writing lists, making a schedule, setting alarms, etc. is physically painful for him, and he'd rather just deal with occasional emergencies rather than be proactive.
That would give me anxiety.
The specific problem. He often forgets to put the shower diverter valve down. You know the little rod on the tub faucet that you push down to make the water fill the tub and pull up to make the water come out of the shower? For nearly 20 fucking years, I have been asking him to put that down. Since I was literally a teenager, I have been asking him to push that fucking thing down.
She is angry about this.
She is very passionate about shower diverters. At least twice a month, I have a very unpleasant wake-up/cold shower because I turn the water on and I get a cold spray from the shower. And every fucking time he's apologetic. And then a week or two later, it happens again. He will do better for a while and then it slips in again. He is always telling me he's working on it. And hasn't he been better about it lately? But somehow, he's always working on it, always improving, but it never fucking stops. Today, I just fucking had it. I stepped into the shower, turned it on, had a very cold and rude awakening. I couldn't fucking take it anymore. I grabbed the cup by the sink and I filled it about 3 inches with cold water and walked out to where he was standing naked. He had just taken off his pajamas and was going to take his shower after mine. That seems a little early to get naked. Maybe he was gonna join her. He's like, I sure do love my wife.
Yeah.
Without warning, while he was looking down, I held that plastic cup firmly in my hand and grasped it tightly. I jerked that motherfucker at a 45-degree angle to get that cold water all over his torso and face. I told him that his apologies were worth the paper they were written on, and I was tired of listening to him congratulating himself of getting better when I had been asking for 20 fucking years to stop doing this shit. I told him I don't accept his apologies, and the fact that it's an accident does not excuse it. I told him that from now on, every time I'm taking a cold shower, so is he. That I refuse to be a second-class citizen in my own home any longer, and if he refuses to make changes to treat me better, I will instead make changes to treat him worse, because I will not tolerate this any longer. I'm going to continue to surprise throw a cold cup of water on him every time I get a surprise cold shower. I'm tired of fucking asking/begging for basic fucking respect and not getting it, with the implication that I have to fucking put up with this forever. So Reddit, I know I'm probably an asshole, but am I a justified asshole?
What kind of psychopath gets into the shower and then turns the water on?
I don't know.
Like, even if it's coming out of that bottom spout, it's gonna come out cold initially, and your feet are gonna get cold. I always, reach in, turn the water on, and then, wait, 30 seconds.
Uh-huh.
And then get in. So what is wrong with her? Why can't she just do that?
So she does address that in an update.
Okay.
I don't think it's a good... Well, let's just read it. Question. Explain your shower to me. Why are you getting in before the water is warm? And then she just quotes somebody else who explained it, or who deciphered it, I guess.
Yeah.
Folks, you're misunderstanding her situation. She leans in to turn on the water, expecting it to come out of the spigot. Instead, shower mode is still in place, and the water sprays out of the shower and onto her head. It is completely rude of the husband to not switch the water flow back to the spigot when he's finished showering. This is just basic etiquette, according to one user.
Okay.
Sorry. And she uses that quote because he said it so nicely, but she does earlier in there say, I stepped into the shower.
Mm-hmm.
So they have either the worst designed shower I've ever seen, because I've never seen a shower where you have to enter it to turn it on.
Right.
They're designed specifically so that you can avoid that cold spray of water.
Uh-huh. Okay, I think everybody sucks here. He sucks for not remembering to do this when it is obviously so important to her, but she's way overreacting to something minor. She should just get in the habit of, before she turns on the water, make sure she slaps that spigot diverter thing down herself so that she's not surprised. It seems like her changing her habit is going to be easier than getting her husband to change at this point. And her husband does kind of suck for this, but at some point you just gotta accept that is who you've married, and it's not going to change. Divorce him or just get in the habit of slapping that spigot down yourself every time you get in the shower.
So she addresses that too.
Uh-huh.
Because she's getting a lot of questions about her weird shower rituals.
Yeah, she's so weird. Why is this an issue? This seems so minor and so easily fixed.
It does, doesn't it? You could push the thing down. It's not a weird habit to be we've all been hit by that cold water, right? And there's got to be ways that you can lean in and turn it on, or... I feel like she's doing something wrong.
There are many solutions to not getting hit with that cold water, and she's not doing any of them.
Uh-huh.
She's just making it her husband's problem.
So, in response to, why don't I just check myself? Why do I expect him to leave it the way I want it left? I don't expect him to leave it the way I want, What I expect is for him to leave things the way he found them. When he walks into the bathroom, it's pushed down. That's how I leave it. So he doesn't get blasted with cold water, but he doesn't leave things the way he found them. Instead, he often leaves the last 10 or 20% of a task for me to clean up for him.
Everybody sucks here, but she is way overreacting. Like, this lady sounds like a delight.
And then in response to people asking follow-up questions in response to that that answer, why don't I leave it the way I found it?
Because that's the wrong way.
If I left things the way I found them, I would live in a sty. I would also spend a great deal of energy making things messier, as I would literally be cleaning up to make space for myself and then undoing that work to put things back as a mess. She is not compromising on this.
Yeah, she just sounds very angry and resentful towards her husband for he's not as cleanly as her, perhaps, as neat.
Yeah.
And he's not doing things her way. I kind of get that. I made you change the way you fold clothes because you weren't doing it right.
Uh-huh.
And you did do it right. And there's one thing you do wrong, but I just let it slide at this point.
For folding clothes?
Yes. You put my pants in the drawer facing the wrong way. Every time. And I asked you 3 or 4 times, and I was like, you know what? He's folding the clothes for me. If I don't have to fold the clothes and he's putting them away, I guess I can deal with the pants being faced the wrong way. And yes, I have routines and things have to be a certain way, but I can deal with it. It still upsets me a little, though.
That's the wrong way.
No! But you did change the way you fold my shirts to the way that I fold my shirts, and that made me very happy. Thank you.
So, going back to the shower spigot, though, I feel like you have the option to train your husband a little by just pulling the diverter up as you leave, right? They have for starters, those are supposed to fall down on their own.
Ours is stuck permanently up.
I know, they obviously have line problems like we do, right?
Uh-huh.
So ours is just permanently jammed.
I cannot close it. If I want to take a bath, it's coming out of the shower head. No,
if we decide we need to use the spigot instead of the shower head, I think I need to actually take some plumbing tools and rip that faucet off and fix it. So it's not worth bait. We both shower. But yeah, you have an opportunity since your diverter doesn't go down, just give him a cold shower.
Yeah, that's a good point. But maybe he doesn't mind it, and then that won't work.
Maybe he turns the shower on like a sane person and just leans in and doesn't get shot in the head with it.
Yeah, I think the way she showers is insane, and the way she's reacting to this is a big overreaction.
Reddit pretty strongly agrees that she's the asshole. Okay. Other than that one comment she cherry-picked out that she is with her. You're the asshole. For nearly 20 years, you could have learned to take 2 seconds to look at it yourself. This is a you problem, not him.
Right? How hard is it to check and make sure that it's down? Like, even just get in the habit of slapping it, even if it's already down.
Uh-huh.
So that every time you get in the shower, you automatically slap it down.
Yeah, and everybody's obviously baffled by her getting in the shower. Because she said, I'm getting in the shower. I stepped in. So she's doing something wrong. And then, I like this one reply. I was once laughing along to a post about the silly things people's boyfriends do, like pulling the pizza out of the oven with bare hands. Until I saw one woman talking about how her boyfriend will do just this. Get in the shower, turn it on, and cower against the wall trying to avoid the cold water until it warms up.
Cowering against the wall is hilarious.
And that's when I realized that when you take a shower, you can turn the water on, wait for it to warm up, and then get in, instead of getting in the shower, turning it on, and cowering against the wall trying to avoid the cold water until it warms up, which I had been doing for 24 years of my life. My fiancé had a good long laugh at me when I told her about my new discovery.
Learning new things on the internet every day.
I definitely, when I was like a kid, remember turning on the shower and cowering against the wall again to avoid the cold spray. I don't know when I learned not to do that, but at some point I did.
I think I did that too.
Really,
you're bringing back traumatic memories.
This post for me too. I have a memory of like standing to the side of the spray, trying to avoid cold water, and I feel like I didn't learn until I was maybe like 12 or something.
Yeah, and we didn't have like a bathtub shower. It was like a skinny shower stall shower, so there was not a lot of room to cower.
I wonder if it was just we had shorter arms.
Yeah, that might be it. Because I think by the time I was like 10, I wasn't doing that anymore.
Yeah, but I say asshole.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it, husband. I've left the seat up, and my wife did fall in.
I did not.
She did.
When
So,
was this?
at our old apartment, she definitely fell in once. And
So traumatic I blocked it out. I don't remember.
and that was my wake-up call. When I realized that this poor woman is not competent enough to look down before sitting.
I don't even remember it.
You definitely fell in.
Did I?
You were so mad at me for leaving the toilet up that time because you just stumbled out half awake in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and I heard a swear.
True love has erased all of your faults.
Except for folding pants.
Yeah. Because that one's continuously ongoing. Every day I pull out my pants and they are not right.
I'll make an effort.
Okay. I know it's dumb. Am I the asshole for telling my 6-year-old nephew he is not special after he told me he can do and get what he wants because everyone calls him special?
I'm hoping they call him special in a good way.
Yes, I believe so.
I'm going to say no, not the asshole, because it sounds like he was being a little turd.
For context, he is the first and only grandchild so far, and probably will be the only grandchild unless my sister has more kids. Yes, he is an only child, and everyone spoils him rotten. I don't have much engagement with them since I live in a different state. I recently went to visit my family. One weekend was supposed to go with my sister and my nephew to an indoor playground/arcade, but something came up on her end, so I offered to take my nephew since we did plan to make a day of it. She agreed, and overall, it was a lot of fun. He was fine the entire day, did not fuss or anything. My mom asked if I could pick her order up from Target. It was in the area, so I said sure. Order was not ready, so we killed time walking around. Apparently, this was my grave mistake. I was unaware my sister gets him whatever he wants when he wants it.
Okay, I doubt that.
She does very well for herself. He showed me a Nerf gun he wanted. I commented and said that was cool. He did not ask for it or anything, and he still had it in his hand. I did not think much of it in the moment, since I did the same as a kid, and when it was time, I would leave it at the counter. My mom's order was done.
I mean, you would leave it at the counter.
I don't know. Apparently, he would take toys to the checkout and then just leave them there and be like, we're not buying this. But he'd just carry it around the store. That, to me, is weird.
That is weird. Don't make the poor restocker put it back. Come on, guys. Put things back.
Yeah. Mom's order was done. I went to pick it up, and he fully expected me to buy it. I told him I was not going to buy it, and maybe he could ask his mom for it next time. I offered to take a picture of it so he could show her exactly what he wanted. That is when he told me that his mom would not mind. She always gets him what he wants because he is very special, and special people get whatever they want.
This sounds like he's trying to con you.
In this context, I kind of get in hindsight from a kid's point of view, no one really tells him no. I told him I was not everyone else, and I had no intention of buying anything at the store. He doubled down, started to fuss, telling me I had to listen to him because he was the kid and he is special. That is when I told him he is no more special or unique than anyone else. He was still giving me a hard time. During that time, my mom called and I picked up. He shouted I would not buy him what he wants. My mom told me to stop being so cheap and buy it. I was starting to get embarrassed and very uncomfortable. I had no idea how to handle the situation. So I bought it because we were making a scene.
Don't give in.
And I don't have much experience with kids. When we got home, I explained the situation. My mom and sister were not pleased. My sister told me she does not believe in telling a child no.
Oh, okay. I was giving her the benefit of a doubt up to this point that the kid was doing some kind of con or just, we all tried that as a kid.
Yeah. But no, apparently the kid was telling the truth.
I get that she doesn't have to worry about money, apparently, but what do you mean you don't tell the kid no at some point? If the kid walks up with an Xbox, are you just going to be like, yeah, okay?
Apparently.
That's not a lesson that you should be teaching your child.
They also were mad I did not reaffirm that he is special, because he should be the most special person to me. He is a gift and such. My sister struggled to have kids. So is he the asshole?
He's an asshole, but not for the reasons he's asking about.
He's an asshole for giving in and buying that little brat his toy.
Absolutely. What kind of lesson did you just teach that kid? That if he throws a tantrum, he gets a Nerf gun?
But at the same time, it is his sister's responsibility to parent her child and teach him that you don't always get what you want.
Was it her responsibility at that moment?
Good point.
If he's responsible for that kid, he needs to be like, hey, I'm not going to buy that for you. And I also think he's an asshole for saying you're not special, you're like everyone else. There's better ways to word that.
Yeah.
when he asks for a toy, you can just be like, I might get that for your birthday or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or don't let him carry it up to the checkout and expect someone else to put it away, you entitled uncle. I don't like you either.
You're the asshole because you caved. Your nephew is in for a world of trouble if your sister keeps living in her fairy tale world.
The second that kid, he tries to, like, use tantrum or, like, coercion or something to get stuff, you need to teach them a lesson.
Yeah.
That's not how things work.
Uh-huh.
You gotta raise them a little. And you are currently responsible for this child.
Yep, so all of the adults are assholes because they are failing this child.
Yes, and the kid's a bit of an asshole, but it's not his fault.
Yeah.
And put things away. Don't just ditch them at random spots around the store and make the poor teenager working at Target put them back.
Can you tell we've both worked in retail before?
I was a cashier. I didn't actually have to put things back, but I did get handed a lot of stuff being like, I don't want this anymore.
Uh-huh.
Which usually that's reasonable, but you can always tell when there's the one person who's not being reasonable about it.
Yeah, I did closing shift at PetSmart a lot, so there was just a lot of... We had to tidy up all the shelves, and that meant going around and find everything that was randomly just set down somewhere and putting it back where it belonged.
Yeah, I bet that's a different... I did grocery store, so, but 24-hour grocery store, so I never had to leave the cash register.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for taking my daughter somewhere when my husband and sons went on a boys' trip?
No, have a girls' trip. That sounds fun.
I, 43 female, have triplets. Mark, Liam, and Abby, 14. With my husband, Josh, 45 male.
Oh, Josh.
Don't point at me for this one.
Is Josh going to be an asshole? Josh?
Do not associate the two of us together.
Are all Josh's assholes? Oh, I guess that means you think this Josh is an asshole.
I am going to be very blatant about the fact that I do. Last Friday, Josh decided to bring Mark and Liam on a spontaneous trip to Six Flags. I don't like amusement parks, so I wasn't bothered by not being invited. Abby asked to go as well, but Mark and Liam said it was a boys' trip.
Okay, that is not fair. Getting left out of an amusement park trip is terrible. What kid doesn't want to go to an amusement park?
Right? Mark and Liam said it was a boys' trip, and that she would ruin the vibe. Abby was upset because she felt left out, and I felt bad for her, so I decided we'd have a day out. It's also weird that her brothers told her no, not the dad.
Yeah, ruining the vibe? That's a terrible thing to say to your sister.
Your triplet sister. Like,
Yeah.
you three are a vibe.
Yeah. Okay, I hate all the males in this story so far.
On Saturday, we went to Cheesecake Factory, our favorite restaurant, a local spa, and I let her have a mini shopping spree at the mall that only came out to about $150. I paid for it all since I got a hefty bonus and didn't know what else to spend it on. She felt better after, and we even had a heartfelt mother and daughter moment at Build-A-Bear where we made each other bears. We also had brunch on Sunday, although it wasn't very costly.
I still feel like this girls' weekend that she had with her daughter is very nice gesture of her, but not at all comparable to an amusement park trip.
Like 100, yeah, I mean, like, what's a ticket to Six Flags, like $80?
Well, not even price-wise, but fun-wise. Like, I would much rather have gone to Six Flags than to, go to spa and shopping.
I mean, spa and shopping is good, but it's not Six Flags, is it?
No.
It's a completely different thing. The boys came home last night, and Abby was excited to tell Josh all about what we did over the weekend. He got mad and confronted me about it, saying I shouldn't have done that. I asked why, because he refused to let Abby go in the first place, and he said it was a boys' trip, and that I shouldn't get her used to special treatment for not being involved in something.
Okay, but you're teaching your boys that it's okay that they do get special treatment? I'm just so confused by this double standard.
I asked why it bothered him so much since I know he'd do it for our sons, but he won't tell me why it bothers him so much. He ended up even trying to take her bear, but I wouldn't let him. He's being cold to me.
Does he hate your daughter? It sounds like he hates your daughter.
He's being cold to me and Abby now, and I'm at a loss. Am I the asshole?
Okay, so now he's throwing a tantrum because he didn't get to treat the boys special and exclude his daughter the way he wanted to?
Apparently.
This guy's a huge asshole. And he's teaching your sons to be huge assholes. Like, they're, turning out just as misogynistic as their father. You can't come with us because you'll ruin the vibe because you're a girl. Oh, I hate everyone in this story. Except the little girl. I hate the mom for not standing up for her daughter more. Like, I would have been like, absolutely not. You can't take our 2 sons to the amusement park and exclude our daughter. If she's not going, none of you are going.
Yeah, they are not co-parenting.
They are not. So everyone sucks here except that 14-year-old girl. I feel so bad for her.
Mostly Josh sucks.
But mostly Josh sucks, and he's teaching his sons to suck, and his wife is not standing up for their daughter.
I feel like I don't like how many sound bites you're about to make are you bashing Josh.
Josh is an asshole. I hate Josh. Josh is so misogynistic. Josh is a bad parent.
Top comment. So were you and Abby supposed to stay home and knit until the menfolk came home?
No, they're supposed to stay home and clean the house and cook dinner for when the menfolk get back.
Uh-huh.
Barefoot in the kitchen.
And then there is some conversation between OP and some of the commenters.
Mm-hmm.
This is alarming behavior, to be honest. If they're allowed boys' trips, why are girls' trips not allowed? Unless he can give a better explanation, the only reason he's against this is because he wanted her to feel excluded. So why does he insist his daughter feel excluded? Does he hate her or something? Is this the first time he's treated her as less than when it comes to all the kids? And then OP replied, he refuses to explain why and just says it's not right and won't explain further. I don't know if he hates her, but I am wondering now and wondering why he would treat her this way. There have been times before where he'd take the boys somewhere extravagant and take Abby somewhere less than exciting after. Like taking our sons camping for the weekend and taking Abby to Denny's to make up for it.
That is not at all comparable.
But she always seemed to appreciate it, so I thought he put thought into it. Now I'm wondering if she was an afterthought to him.
Yeah, she was.
Somebody replied to that. He has been showing you he thinks less of his daughter than his sons. Wake up to what he's doing. He won't explain further than it's not right. And that was okay with you for your daughter? You know why Abby always seemed to appreciate a lame-ass trip to Denny's? Because she's learning that crumbs are all she gets. Dad took brothers to Six Flags, but at least he took me to Denny's. I am so grateful. Is this how he treats you too, OP? Get yourself together, OP. Your husband can treat you like shit. Guess that's your decision. But do not let him treat your daughter like shit. Do you want her to end up with a man like your husband? I bet not.
Yeah, those are all good points.
Comments are kind of setting her a bit straight on this. To be blunt, I read this and wondered how someone could stay married to such an asshole for over 14 years. But the fact you're even wondering if you're the asshole makes it apparent you've simply gotten used to his bullshit. Get both of you into marriage counseling and be sure to take a hard look back at how you've been treated and don't hold back during therapy. His behavior is beyond the pale. And then OP replied, I'm definitely looking into therapy now and seeing if Abby and I can move in with my sister for the time being. I'm glad you're looking into therapy, OP, but please don't just take your daughter. If you go stay with your sister, you will cause what may be unfixable damage not only between you and your sons, but also your sons and your daughter. There's more discussion. We can...
Yeah, you need to take your sons with you because if you leave them with Josh, your husband, they're going to turn into just as terrible human beings as he is. And that's not okay. You need to get your sons out of there and teach them to be better.
That's essentially what a lot of the further discussion comes down to, is people convincing her to take all 3 kids. You know, don't let him set a narrative with the sons.
Yeah, also, it's like, oh, dad's choosing the boys and mom's choosing the girl, and that's creating a big divide between them, the kids.
Yeah, they're triplets. They should really all be on the same team.
Yeah.
I mean, they're siblings.
Yeah. She's not the asshole for the reason she thinks she is, but she's a little bit of the asshole for not nipping this in the bud and
not being a little more proactive on this issue when it was went before.
Yeah, she's an asshole for letting her daughter be treated like an afterthought for so long.
She's working on it, and hopefully it works out well for, the kids.
Mm-hmm. Am I overreacting for refusing to let my mother-in-law host a first bath ceremony for our baby?
Is that a thing? I'm gonna say no. I've never heard of this.
My mother-in-law, 59 female, is really into tradition, but sometimes she invents new ones and acts like they're ancient.
Okay, so this is not a tradition.
We had our baby girl last week, and she asked when we were doing the first bath ceremony. I had no clue what she was talking about. Apparently, she wanted to host a gathering at her house where the baby's first real bath would be done in front of the family with oils, flowers, and grandma's blessings. I said no.
What kind of oils? I don't know. Baby's skin is so sensitive.
Right? You shouldn't be putting oils on a baby unless it's baby oil. I said no. 1, we already bathed the baby. 2, I'm barely walking straight and have no interest in packing up for a ritual invented on Facebook.
Yeah, this has got to be so soon after she got back from the hospital. Like, you want to wash the hospital germs off the baby.
Yeah, so she had the baby last week, so this is really soon. She's still recovering from birth.
She had the baby. The baby's had a bath or two.
Yeah, right? Maybe they just thought he had like a towel bath and not like a submerged bath.
I guess.
So
official bath, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Like, those other ones didn't count.
She flipped out and said I robbed her of the spiritual connection between matriarch and baby. Now she's telling people I disrespected her culture. She's white, for context. And that I'm spiritually hostile. My husband finds it hilarious, but also asked if maybe we could have just let her do it symbolically. I'm tired. I feel like this is nuts. Am I the asshole for shutting it down completely?
You're not the asshole. I think a new mother, just maybe you can shut down some of the fanfare a little.
I feel like this is a narcissistic grandmother trying to make the baby all about her. She's the matriarch and she needs to do a ceremony. She's trying to see how much of the attention she can get on her. And like, you're not involved in this baby thing, you know? You're the grandmother, not the mother and the baby.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it's about grandma, this ceremony, as the matriarch, providing her blessing for the new member of the family. I can't see any situation where this isn't about grandma making it about herself.
Yeah, so it seems a little ridiculous to me.
Not overreacting.
Also, you need to shut your hubby down. He thinks you should just let the mom symbolically do it. Be like, absolutely not, and this is your problem, you deal with it, but it is not happening. Your mother, your problem.
Yeah. If mother-in-law wants to come over and clean. The first cleaning of the house.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe she doesn't even want that.
There's a big debate, everybody going, is there any culture that this is a thing? Apparently some tribes in Nigeria and some part of Latvia is a first bath ritual exists.
Okay, but like, how deep down did people have to dig to find these?
I know, right? And there's a lot of contradicting information about it, so I don't think that anybody's research is very good.
ChatGPT said there is.
Yeah. No, you're not overreacting. That is the most insane thing I've ever heard. Great idea putting a bunch of weird oils on a baby's skin. Who knows what they could possibly be allergic to or could react to if you put essential oils or other types of oils on their skin. The only oil should maybe get near is baby oil.
Yeah, right? Hey, if you've made it this far in, give us a follow so you don't miss future videos.
We really appreciate your support. It helps us keep making fun videos for you.
Am I the asshole for not eating the birthday cake my boyfriend got me?
Why wouldn't you eat cake? Okay, if it's one you specifically told him not to get you, then not the asshole. But I mean, cake is cake. Eat the cake. Why don't you want to eat the cake? I'm concerned why they don't want to eat cake.
You're just on the side of the cake.
Yes, eat cake. I want cake now.
Alright, so my birthday was a couple days ago, and I asked my boyfriend like a week before to get me a carrot cake. While I know it's not a popular choice for a birthday cake, it's my favorite, and practically the only flavor of cake I like, besides red velvet, but I wasn't really feeling it, to be honest.
He's gonna get her a different cake, and that's, I'm mad at him already. The birthday person gets to pick the flavor.
Yeah.
And you have one job.
Keeping in mind that I was gonna have a birthday party with my friends, my boyfriend suggested that I get a flavor that people like, which I'd understand maybe if it was a huge party with tons of people. But I know my friends, and I know they wouldn't mind carrot cake at all. Edit, should clarify, I told him that my friends would be fine with carrot cake and to get it anyway.
Okay, yeah.
This was discussed.
And she said, nope, carrot cake. He's going to disregard her, and I think he's a terrible boyfriend.
Anyways, fast forward to my birthday. My boyfriend goes and gets the cake from the shop in the afternoon, and I don't get to see it since I'm getting ready. But he doesn't mention anything to me about it, so I think nothing of it since I like a surprise. My friends arrive, and everything's going great, until it's time for the cake to be served. We gather around the table, and everyone sings happy birthday while my boyfriend brings out the cake. And to my horror, I see this big chocolate cake in his hands. I hate chocolate cake. It makes me sick. He knows I hate chocolate cake.
Boyfriend's the asshole.
You're betraying cake. You're supposed to be on the side of the cake, Christy.
But she specifically said what cake to get, and he's like, no, your opinion doesn't matter even though it's your birthday. Fuck you, I'm getting the cake I want.
My face fell when I saw it, but I obviously didn't say anything at the time. However, I did give my boyfriend a glare or two, which he clearly picked up on since he kept insisting I eat the cake in front of everyone as we were serving it out. Something about that made me angry in the moment, and I refused to try the cake at all. I cut it, I blew out the candles, I handed it out to everyone, but I didn't try it myself. I don't think the others took huge notice, but once the party ended, I started getting unready when my boyfriend comes into our room and is like, "Why do you have to act like a child all the time?" And I'm like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "You have to make a scene just because I didn't get your fucking carrot cake." And he went on about how nobody likes carrot cake and how I'm spoiled and selfish and looked stupid not eating cake at my own birthday party. And then claimed he couldn't find carrot cake, which is crazy because 1, I've never not gone to that shop and not seen carrot cake, and 2, even if there wasn't any, he could have picked any other flavor besides the one I hate. Did I get a little... That was a hard paragraph to read without getting sassy.
It was good. Sassy's good because she's sassy when she's doing it, so keep it in.
I told him that, and he just got really upset, like I was the one who started the fight, and started going on about how I was overreacting over cake, and how he tried his best to make this bday good for me, which in fairness is true, since he put a lot of effort into organizing it for me. But honestly, I was just livid then. Now we're still kind of off about it, and neither of us have, apologized or anything. But I'm starting to think I did overreact over cake, and I probably should have just eaten it and then talked to him later about it, but I don't know.
Not the asshole. The birthday person gets to pick the cake flavor. I don't know what's so hard about that. Also, if he was so concerned about not everybody else liking the carrot cake, because he obviously didn't, and he's selfish and wanted to get the cake he wanted, he should have gotten a small carrot cake for her, and then a larger separate chocolate cake for everyone else.
I kind of like that compromise.
You still have to get the birthday person the cake that they want.
Uh-huh.
But if you want to make sure your guests are also pleased, you get a second cake. There's no reason to not get her that carrot cake.
Yeah, cakes aren't that expensive. You can get 2 cakes.
Yeah.
Reddit agrees. Not the asshole. It isn't overreacting. A cake flavor may seem small in the grand scheme, but it's a message your significant other is telling you that your preference and desires do not matter to them, not even on a day that is designed to be for you.
Yes, he's saying the opinions of your friends and myself is more important than your opinion, because he's afraid he doesn't like carrot cake and he doesn't think anyone else likes it.
Carrot cake's pretty good, honestly. I like it.
Not bad.
It's not my choice, but
yeah.
It's good. I'll eat it.
I mean, I'll eat pretty much any cake except lemon. I do not like lemon.
But yeah, so buy the birthday girl her cake that she wants. It's not really that weird. And then let everyone else not eat cake at the party.
Yeah, it's her birthday. She wants carrot cake. If nobody else likes carrot cake, too bad for them.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I agree with Reddit. Not the asshole.
Am I the asshole for refusing to recover at home after surgery?
I don't know. That's so vague. I gotta have more information.
I, 29 female, am really disappointed with my husband, 30 male, and furious at his mother, hag-aged female.
Damn.
For context, my husband is from the West Coast, where his mother still lives. He moved to the East Coast for college, and that's where we met after graduation. In the start of our relationship, she would visit 3 to 4 times a year and make him take PTO so he could entertain her throughout her visit. After 2 years of this, while we were still dating, I asked him how are we ever meant to go on vacation together if his PTO is spent at home with his visiting mother. We agreed to save PTO for a trip to Europe we took in 2023, and he agreed to tell his mother he wouldn't take off from work every time she visited. In my last job, I was able to work from home 4 days a week, and every time she visited, she sulked all day like a puppy who's had her toys taken away. But once my husband came home, a switch flicked, and she was happy and clingy again. So here's the issue now. Husband and I moved states about 6 months ago, closer to my family. I have a new doctor who recommended me for a surgery that my old doc kept putting off. It's not a complicated procedure, and it will greatly increase my quality of life for decades. My mother-in-law decided she's due for a visit and wants to explore our new town, and she's come to help around the house while OP recovers. I'm going to be out of surgery and in pain, and I really don't want to put up with her energy. However, we agreed, with my husband saying this isn't a sightseeing visit, she's here to help out, cook, clean, laundry, etc., so I can rest and recover. She can come for a proper visit later in the year.
Something about the way that their dynamic has been up to this point makes me feel like she should know that mother-in-law is not going to do this.
Yep.
You moved closer to your own family. Don't you want your own family popping over and helping out?
My husband dropped me off at the hospital on Wednesday. It was meant to be a surgery, then one night overnight at the hospital for observations. On Thursday, the doctor told me my labs were not where he'd like them to be and I should stay another night for observation and new lab work in the morning. I called my husband and told him that I'd hopefully be home the next day over the phone, early afternoon. He did not visit on Thursday at all. On Friday, I was discharged and called my husband to tell him that I'd be ready in about an hour. It went straight to voicemail and I figured he's probably in a meeting, so I'll try again in a little bit. After calling a few times over the course of an hour, I called my sister, who was lucky enough to be excused from work for the afternoon. Many thanks to her understanding boss. She drove 90 minutes to get me and took me home, and the house was in shambles. Laundry baskets on the dining room table, the litter box had not been cleaned since Wednesday morning, days of dirty plates in the sink, etc. I just broke down crying. She packed me a bag and took me to her apartment to recover for 2 weeks.
What is husband doing not answering that phone? I don't understand how you don't take the day off or something.
I know.
I mean, I understand what he's probably doing. He's probably out gallivanting around with mom or something.
Yeah, but I don't understand why he's not at the hospital with her. When I had my surgery, you stayed with me at the hospital the whole time I was there.
Pretty much. I went home to sleep.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah.
Go home to sleep and I think feed the cat. And then, yeah, I think I came back super early in the morning. Yeah, that's a normal behavior. It sounds like a major surgery. That's a normal behavior.
On Friday night, my husband called me asking me where I am and that the hospital said I was already discharged. This Friday night. She was discharged in the afternoon.
Oh my God.
He had been on a hike with his mother and there was no cell phone service, so he missed my calls, which also meant he took PTO for his mom's visit again. Obviously, I can't ban him from taking PTO, but wouldn't you rather spend that freed up time with your wife at the hospital instead of on a date with your mom?
You can ban him from taking PTO. It needs to be a community resource between you and your husband to a certain extent.
I told him that I no longer feel comfortable recovering in our house and I won't be returning until it's thoroughly cleaned and his mother is gone. He's calling me the a-hole because his mother just wanted to get to know our new area and I wasn't able to leave the hospital anyway, and that I was making a big deal out of this. I yelled that he essentially abandoned me at the hospital and entertained someone whose being here was to help make recovery easier, not more stressful, and that she was here for support, not on a vacation. Maybe it's just the pain and pain meds, but am I in the wrong here? Is this a stupid hill to die on? There's a part of me telling me to see a divorce lawyer just to see what my options are because I'm not sure this will ever change. I know this is going to sound incredibly selfish, but I want kids. But I now don't see myself having any with my husband in the foreseeable future. And if this isn't going to work out, I don't want to spend the next 5 years wasting time and money on therapy and missing a chance to find someone I actually can start a family with. Someone who will be a committed father and husband before he's a son. Many thanks to anyone who read all this.
Husband is being unacceptable. No, yeah, that's just not okay. Mother-in-law came over just to help with, things around the house. That was her excuse for it. What do you mean you took her out on a hike? You two should be deep cleaning the house and waiting by that phone. Actually, mother-in-law should be deep cleaning the house and husband should be at the hospital.
I agree.
There's no going and hanging out at outside of cell service of all places.
I know, while your wife is in the hospital.
What if something went wrong?
Uh-huh.
I fully agree. You can't, as he is now, he's not ready to have kids. You need to have a very serious conversation with him at the very least. You can't just drop everything every time your mom wants to come into town.
Yeah. Top comment, he left you alone in the hospital.
Yeah, he didn't even call up your sister and be like, hey, can you take over a shift?
Mm-hmm.
Or something. You don't... I understand there are times where you might need to leave someone alone in the hospital. This is not one of those times.
Okay, he left you alone in the hospital. He went somewhere without cell service when he knew you were being discharged. He didn't call you back until that night, hours after you were meant to be discharged. This man is ridiculous and that is unforgivable. Let his mom have him. You are not overreacting thinking about divorce, and you are definitely NTA.
No, you're definitely not overreacting. I fully support not wanting to have kids with somebody like this. That's crazy. It just shows a level of immaturity. Nobody likes a mama's boy.
Reddit is full of them.
Is there a lot of people in the comments that are supporting him?
No, but you get a lot of stories about mama's boys.
Okay. I was like, that'd be insane if there was like a mama's boy brigade in the comments.
No, everybody in the comments thinks he's an asshole, and it's unacceptable. But I'm just saying, a lot of the Reddit stories are terrible mother-in-laws and their little mama's boys.
Uh-huh.
So... Okay, so a month later, we have an update. Hi all, I posted a month ago about my husband basically abandoning me at the hospital to entertain his visiting mother.
I don't like that she's still using basically. He abandoned you.
I thought I'd post an update. We're done. I'm still at my sister's place and my boss is letting me work remotely due to the commute, but I have an apartment I'm moving into in July that's a 10-minute drive from my job. Thank you to everyone who responded. It was a bit overwhelming. I went into defensive mode and thought I put my husband in a bad light, but you all really slapped the rose-colored glasses off of me. We spoke on the phone every day the first week I was away. He asked his mother to leave ASAP so I would feel comfortable coming back home. After a week, I told him I still needed space and I was coming the next day to grab more things. Once he saw that I had an empty bag and my sister brought 2 empty pieces of luggage, he realized I'm taking a lot because I'm not planning to come back soon.
I don't know what I would do in that scenario of, like, I guess she wanted space.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is it not do you not drop everything and drive to your sister-in-law's apartment and kneel outside of the door to beg for forgiveness?
Right?
What does husband mean? He talked on the phone with her.
He asked to talk and I figured we should get it done and over with. I told him we needed to separate. He tried to argue that his mother only visits a few weeks out of the year and that things are great otherwise. I told him that the issue is he expects me to be okay during those weeks with him, ignoring my feelings and catering to hers. I said things don't magically go back to normal once she leaves. There's resentment towards him for weeks, for him doing it again, and self-hatred for me allowing it to happen again. He asked to go back to couples therapy. I told him it didn't work last time. We had a great therapist who helped him put boundaries in place and to be able to deliver consequences when his mother overreached. But as soon as she'd arrive, she'd break one boundary, he'd let it pass, and then she had carte blanche to stomp all over them all. And when I tried to reinforce them, I'd get no support and I'd be the bad guy. Here's where I may have been a bit mean. I told him I'm turning 30 this year and I want to start a family, but I can't see starting one with him. If he can't put me first when I'm just out of surgery, why would I think he'd put our children first?
That's a perfectly fair question.
I reminded him that his mother is retiring in less than 10 years. What happens when she decides she's frail and lonely? I asked him if he'd move her in whether I was okay with it or not. He replied, I'm all she has. It really hit me then. This was not the life I thought we were building together. I was not the life I wanted or could settle for. He asked if he was really that bad of a husband. I sort of lied and said, no, but you're just not the husband I need. I told him he either needs a wife who's okay with being the side piece in his relationship with his mother or no wife at all. I left with my sister and 10 minutes into the ride back to her place, his mother called me. I sent it to voicemail. I started laughing and my sister asked what was so funny. I said, the first thing he did was call his mommy and tattle on me for leaving. Papers have been served and it's been pretty amicable so far. Fingers crossed. And that's the end of the update.
Calling your mommy to tattle is par for the course for him, it sounds like.
Everyone on Reddit says good for you for standing up for yourself.
It sounds like he was not going to respect any kind of boundary with his mom. And it's not unreasonable. It should not be unreasonable for his mom to move closer when she retires in 10 years. But it sounds like in this instance, it would turn into I don't even know.
Yeah, it's not okay.
It sounds like she'd be moving in and you'd just have a second wife or a third kid. I don't know.
Yeah, she's the side piece in the relationship between her husband and his mom.
I know that's his whole family, it sounds like, but that's extreme.
Another comment. He called his mom immediately. Congratulations on ditching that loser baby man boy. If OP needs any other indications that she did the best thing for herself, this detail right here.
Yeah, right? It sounds like she wouldn't have been that upset with, mother-in-law being, around a lot. Mm-hmm. But he just takes it too far. Yeah, I can't I can't blame her for this result at all.
She's not the asshole. He was a terrible husband, ditching her in the hospital while she had surgery. And I don't think she's overreacting at all to leave him over this.
Right.
He doesn't sound like he's going to change.
No, he doesn't. That is an unforgivable thing.
Mm-hmm.
If your wife is having major surgery and they're like, I don't like your levels, I need to keep you for an extra night. As a husband, are you not panicking?
Yeah.
A little?
Oh my gosh, is she okay? I better
Yeah.
make sure she's okay. And he's like, cool, another day to go hiking.
Yeah.
With my mommy.
It sounds like it might have just been like a little thing. Like, hey, just so if something happens, but you're probably fine.
Yeah.
But no, as a husband, you should be sitting there being attentive.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
My fiance pushed my brother into a pond, and my family is boycotting my wedding.
Did the brother have it coming? I bet he did.
I understand when I put it like that, the title, it does sound bad. But hear me out. I'm 23 female, and my fiance is 25 male. My brother is 28 male. My brother is an abrasive person, to say the least. I am East Asian, and I only mention my ethnicity because I genuinely feel that some of this is a cultural issue, where my brother, being the older male child, gets all the slack in the world. He is very much favored. It was after we went to dinner with my family to celebrate my mom's birthday. My parents invited us back to their place, where my brother still lives at home. We went out to the backyard to take a family photo. My mom wanted to change her clothes first, so she went to go do that. I don't remember where my dad was, probably on the toilet, lol.
Dads.
My fiance, brother, obviously drunk, and myself were standing outside. My brother received a dating app notification. It was loud, and it was Grindr. No one acknowledged it or cared, but my brother chose to make a comment. He said something like, I'm just trying something new because I'm curious, you know how it is, and nudged my fiance. My fiance raised a brow. My brother added, being in the military and all, you experimented, right? My fiance just replied with, wrong. My brother then said something like, you give off toxic top energy.
Okay, brother needs to be pushed into a pond. First of all, don't discuss your sex life or his sex life with your brother-in-law. That's weird and creepy.
My fiance ignored the comment, and I was just annoyed at this point, so I replied, who talks like that? What is wrong with you? My brother then made a sudden gesture of raising his arm as if to hit me, backhand, and on instinct, I just flinched and closed my eyes. Unfortunately, my fiance's instinct was to block my brother in that same moment, and because my brother had drank quite a bit, he staggered into my dad's pond.
He didn't even really push him. He just blocked him hitting his sister, and he fell himself into the pond.
My brother has exaggerated the story in his favor, and is now loudly boycotting my wedding, and has convinced my parents to do so as well, because I refuse to let my fiance pay for my brother's expensive custom suit that is supposedly ruined beyond repair.
Yeah, ruined. Water isn't gonna hurt it. Just get it dry cleaned.
Why does brother have an expensive custom suit when he still lives at home?
Because he's the golden child.
Oh, mom and dad bought it for him?
Yes.
I am pretty sure he can just dry clean it. I love my parents, but I'm sick of how blindly they back up my brother. Am I being petty? My aunt told me to pick my battles, that this isn't a time to hold a grudge, and I swear it's not wedding stress that's making me feel this way. I am just fed up with always having to absorb the damage when he gets coddled.
The only asshole here is your brother. He's really sounds like an asshole. And I say good riddance. I don't think I'd want him at my wedding anyways. He tried to hit you.
Yeah, even if that was faking, maybe don't do that to your adult sister. There's a point, there's an age where you stop going, this
Fake
stops
fighting.
being funny.
Yeah. I say good riddance to the brother, and if the parents want to pick him too, good riddance to him too. They'll come to regret it when your brother turns out to be a terrible human being and nobody wants to marry him, and you're the one who's married and having grandkids and they don't get to see them because they didn't come to your wedding because they picked your brother. That was very long and rambling. Did that even make sense?
I think so.
Okay.
You were kind of going off on something. You don't even have a brother.
I don't know.
It's not like you're channeling anything there.
But I think that brother sucks and the parents suck for picking his side in this thing and all the time. So good riddance.
Yeah.
You don't need them. Don't need their toxic energy.
Reddit is pretty unanimously on her side. Your fiance sounds like a keeper and your family sucks. Not the asshole and not being petty, they are. Someone did say in the comment, apparently Grindr has its own notification sound.
Ooh, I don't like that.
No, right?
Like, if you're on Grindr, do you want everybody knowing that you're getting a match on Grindr?
Grindr is kind of a dirtier one, right?
It's the gay
I know it's
one.
the gay
okay,
one,
but yeah,
but
I
is
feel like it's like just hookups and it's not.
It's not for dating, it's for hookups?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know dating apps.
I don't either.
I know that's the gay one.
I have never used a dating app.
I haven't either.
So,
We're just old enough to be able to say that, right?
Yeah,
it's
we're
like
just
mandatory.
old enough and we met just young enough in our lives that we didn't need to meet through a dating app.
Yeah. So I don't know a lot about dating apps, but from a comment further down that I can't find right now, they're saying that it has its own sound. I don't know why you would want an app to have its own sound. I feel like the notification's just for me.
Yeah.
Don't tell people what the sound with. Don't make a sound.
Is there a way to go in and change that so it's not like a grinder sound?
I do want
Grinder match. Is that what it does? I
don't know. That would be the perfect sound, though, isn't it?
Some guy wants to bang you.
I don't know. Maybe you could do a normal Maybe you can just date on Grindr. I honestly don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, whatever the app is, I want them all to just make a ding.
Yeah.
And I want my phone on
my
silence.
normal notification sound, and it's not even a sound because it's on vibrate.
Yeah. Don't broadcast to the world what apps I have on my phone.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So, not the asshole.
All right, well, that was our last story for this week.
If you liked this, give us a follow, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.